So once again, let's quickly take a look at how we're going to handle logging in the user. More specifically, how do we actually verify that his credentials are correct? Because it's not going to be exactly the same way that you would think. So the user is going to hit the login endpoint and he's going to provide the email and the password. And I've colored the word password in red because this password is going to represent what the user is trying to log in as. This is his attempted password. That's what we're going to call it. And that's going to be in red. And keep in mind that when he sends this password, it's in plain text, right? It's just the regular password that he typed out. And so when it gets to our API, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to hit our database to try to find the user based off his email or his username. And the database is going to send back all of the information about that user, which includes the password. However, if you remember how we actually created the password and stored it in the database, we actually stored a hashed version of the password in the database so that if anyone hacks our database, the user's passwords aren't actually in plain text, so no one can really hack their passwords. But this creates a little bit of a problem because we have the attempted password for the login attempt in plain text. However, we've got the password in our database as a hashed password. So how exactly do we check to see that they're equal? Because right now, a hashed password does not equal the same as the regular password. And your first instinct is to, hey, well, let's just convert this back to a plain text password. And we can't exactly do that because remember, a hash is only one way. So if we hash a password, we can't get the original password from the hash. That's what's great about hashing a password. And if you think you can do that, that's actually, well, I guess what we would refer to as encryption, but we're hashing in this case. So what do we do to verify if the passwords are actually equal? It's pretty simple. We take the hashed password and then we take the raw, and once again, this hashed password is the correct password in our database. Then we take the password attempt and we hash it again. So we hash this password. And so then we get a hashed password. And so if we have the correct password, then if we put it through the hashing function, these two should be equal. And so if they're equal, that means the password they provided us is the correct password in the database. If it's not, if they don't match, that means he gave us the wrong password. And so if they're correct, we'll then go ahead and we'll create a token first, and then we'll send it to the client. So it's as simple as taking the attempted password, hashing it, and then comparing it with the hashed password in the database. Because if the passwords are correct, then the hash should equal the hash in the database. Okay, so we're going to create the login path operation. And what I'm actually going to do is you're probably thinking that we can just store the path operation in the users.py router. However, I think it would make more sense to actually store this in a authentication router. So we're actually going to create a brand new router for this so that we can keep the user routes versus the authentication routes in two different files. However, if you really wanted to, you could store it all in one file. So I'm going to call this auth.py. And the first thing that we have to do is from the fast API, we're going to import a few things. We're going to import the API router. We're going to need depends, status, HTTP exception, and maybe we need the response. I haven't decided. And then we're going to define our router. So we'll say router equals API router. And we're going to pass in a tag, just for the documentation. So we'll say tags equals authentication. All right. And then we're going to create our login. So we'll call this, well, first of all, this is going to be a post request because remember the user is going to have to provide his credentials. So generally when you want to send data in one direction, it's going to be a post request. And we'll send it to the login endpoint. You can call this whatever you want. You can call it authenticate. However, I like login. And then we'll define our function, and I'll just call this login as well. And because we're ultimately going to have to fetch the user from the database, we're going to have to import our database session. And so from SQL Alchemy, we'll say .orm import session. And so we'll do the same thing that we did with every other path operation. I'll say db session equals depends. And then we're going to have to actually import our getDB function. So from here, we'll do from, and we have to go up a directory, and I'll say database import session. Sorry, not session. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to say from ... import database. And then I can just reference it as database dot get underscore DB. Right? And since the user is going to be providing the login information, I think it makes sense to set up a schema so that we can ensure that they provide the exact pieces of data that we ultimately want. And what we're going to do is we're just going to create a new class, and I'm going to call this user login. And this will extend the base model as usual. And the two pieces of information that we want are email, which is going to be a string, and then we can do password, which is going to be a string. Actually, I'm gonna use an email string like we did before. And then from our auth.py, I'm also going to import schemas. And here I'm going to store the schema as a user credentials. This is going to be schemas.user login. All right, and so now we can access all the user information or the attempted login information with the user credentials variable. And we're going to make a request to our database, specifically our users table, to retrieve the user based off of his email. So we'll say db.query, and we have to import models now so that we can access it. We'll say models.user, and then we have to filter based off of the email. We'll say models.user once again, .email equals user underscore credentials .email. And then there's only going to be one user with that specific email, so we'll do first. And we'll store this result in a variable called user. Now, if there's no user with that specific email, then we're going to return a error, or we're going to raise an exception. So we'll say if not user, we're going to raise an HTTP exception. And the status code is going to be status dot, and I'm trying to remember what code it's going to be a 404 because that user doesn't exist. And then the detail field, we're just going to say invalid credentials. Because normally with authentication, you don't want to say, hey, this is the wrong email or this is the wrong password, because you don't want to make it a little bit easier for them to kind of guess other people's information. Just say this is invalid credentials, let them figure out whether it's the email or the password. And then after this, once we verify that we did actually get a user object, we have to verify that the passwords are equal. So this would be performing that logic of hashing the password that they gave us and seeing if that it compares to the password from the database. And so what we're going to do is we're going to create a new function in the utils folder that's going to be responsible for comparing the two hashes. Or actually, it's going to take in the raw password, the password attempt. It's going to hash it for us, and then it's going to compare it to the hash in the database. So we'll create a function, we'll call it verify, and it's going to include the plain password, which is the password the user is trying to attempt, and then the hashed password, which comes from the database. And all we have to do is just return, and then we can reference the PW context, right? So if you want to hash a password, you just call the dot hash method. However, it's also got another method for us, which is verify. So it's going to perform all this logic for us. So we just pass in the plain password, and then we pass in the hashed password, and it's going to figure out the rest. Now you're thinking, well, what is the point of such a tiny function? Why don't we just include it in our auth.py? Well, we 100% could, because it's really 2 lines of code. It doesn't really make sense to store it in another file. However, then we also have to import all of the bcrypt code, and I like to have everything kind of separate. So keeping all of the bcrypt logic in one file just makes things a little bit easier to manage. But in our auth folder, we can import utils now. And we're going to run the utils.verify. And we're going to pass in the plain password, which is going to be stored in user credentials. So we'll say user credentials.password. And then we pass in the hashed password from the database, which is stored under user. So we'll say user.password. All right. And if they are not equal, so if they do not equal each other, which means they provided us the incorrect password, then we're going to raise another HTTP exception. And this is going to be the same thing. We're going to send a status code of 404. And the detail is going to be the same thing. We're not going to tell them that it was the wrong password. We're just going to say invalid credentials so that it's not easy for them to kind of keep guessing passwords or emails. All right. And then at this point, what we would do is we would create a token, which, we haven't really gone over how to do that. And then we would just return token. But once again, we haven't done that. So I'm just going to return, and we'll just say token. And I'm just going to say example token, right? Because we haven't implemented that logic, but I do want to make sure that the rest of the code looks good. So we'll try that out. And I'm going to go in, create a new request. This will be login user. It'll be a post request. I'm going to copy this. Actually, this is just going to be /login. And then in our body, we're going to provide some JSON. And here we're just going to say email is whatever. And password is whatever. And before I actually do anything, I'm going to run a query on my database because if you see, I've got a couple of users that don't have hashed passwords. So I'm actually going to delete everything just so I can clean up some mess. And I'll just say, and what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to delete everything. I think that's going to just make things simple because I don't even remember these guys' passwords. So it's going to create some issues for us. So we'll just say delete from, and I'll say users, and then I just won't provide any condition. So this should delete everything. We'll run that, and you can see that it looks like it deleted all 12 results, and that's perfectly okay. And I'll add my original query back, select star from users. And what we're going to do is we're going to just register a new user. So I'll do create user, and I'm going to call this sanjeev@gmail, and then the password is going to be password123. So let's create that user. Let's take a look. All right, we've created that user. And now let's log in this user. So we'll go to login, and I'm going to provide my sanjeev@gmail. And then we're going to provide a password, which was password123. Let's try this out. And it looks like we ran into an issue. So well, first of all, that's the wrong error message. I'm not sure why it gave me that. It should say invalid credentials. So where is this actually happening? And guys, I made an absolute silly and stupid mistake. I forgot to actually wire up this router in our main.py file. So it doesn't even know about it. So let's import this. We're going to say import auth. And all we have to do is just one skin. I'm just going to copy this. And we'll just say auth.router. All right, let's try this again. All right, and we've got our example token, which means that we verified that the passwords are correct and everything was good to go. We just haven't implemented the logic for the token, but let's just make sure that when we put in the wrong password, it still works, or it shouldn't work. And we get invalid credentials. Let's put the right password back in, and then let's use the wrong email. And we get invalid credentials as well. So, so far, we are almost done with the whole login process. The next thing that we got to do is handle creating a token. It's not going to be too difficult, but I do want to save that for the next video.